Salutations everyone, this is Razor giving you guys a regional roundup here on Smash 4. Get on My Level was the last major, but we have had no lack of fantastic tournament content and a few regionals the past week, including Wednesday Night Fights, Smash and Splash, KTAR 18, and there's a lot to talk about with how rankings may be, certain matchups, players' stocks going up and down, and we've had Zero, who has dropped his last 4 tournaments since he's come back, beforehand losing to Ally on Get on My Level on the bracket reset after being sent to losers. Then Zero plays Larry Lur after sending him to losers, and then on the Grand Finals rematch, Larry Lur resets the bracket 3-2 and then wins 3-2. Fantastic, Larry's first victory over Zero. And then we had Wednesday Night Fights, which we saw Zero sending Anti to losers 3-2, and then in Grand Finals on the rematch, Anti wins that one 3-1, 3-0. And then we had this past weekend KTAR 18, which saw Nairo beating DeBuzz on a bracket reset in Grand Finals. I think that was 3-1, 3-1. And then in Smash and Splash, we had Get on My Level rematch, Zero versus Ally. Zero didn't send Ally to Grand Finals this time. There's just this new 16-year-old Cloud player by the name of Ned who was able to do that to Ally. Then Ally comes back, Grand Finals, and wins that one 3-1, 3-1, including a crazy sudden death moment that was unprecedented in Smash. Crazy one stock 2-minute tiebreaker there. So it's no longer a question of, is Zero going to get back to form, or is Zero still good, or are the people getting better? It's not a question of can Zero beat these people that he's lost to, because he's beaten everybody. He sent almost everyone into losers that he ends up losing to in Grand Finals, including Ally on Gommel, and then Larry Lur, and then Anti. So we know he can beat everybody, but now we've seen 3 different players beat Zero in Grand Finals. Now, these were Grand Finals that Zero got eliminated. It's not like he lost in semis or in quarters or anything like that. So Zero is still, the #1 player in the world. He still had that super long dominant run. And after the hand injuries, him coming back, we saw him most recently in Smash and Splash go with the Sheik in the first set and saving Diddy Kong for the possible second set, and didn't really seem to help him out that much. Losing to Ally's Mario twice and Anti's Mario twice. People are wondering about, does he have a Mario problem? He definitely doesn't have a Mario problem. It's just that everyone else, and I think Larry said it best when he beat him 3-2, 3-2, he thanked Zero for pushing everybody else to get better. And I don't think it's much of a question of his absence playing into a factor about him not being as good, or that was a time where everyone else just got to get better. Because people were able to catch up to his level, and I don't think we're going to see that, year run of dominance that Zero had. There's a reason why Zero's year of dominance was so unprecedented, and since, his coming back to Smash 4, we haven't seen that same dominance, but he's still going to Grand Finals every time, so there's no reason to worry about him. He doesn't have a problem against a certain character because or against a certain player, because he's beaten Ally, he's beaten Anti, he's beaten Larry Lur, he still has a winning record against all of these players, but other people are getting better. And then there's the question of, okay, so since Zero isn't undefeatable, he's not, untouchable, he's lost, a few tournaments in a row now, do we have a gods situation going now in Smash 4? And if so, how many? Is there 4 gods? Is there 5 gods? And who would comprise that? Obviously Nairo, Ally with his recent dominance, and DeBuzz still shows that at KTAR 18 that he's still very, very good, and is battling a Nairo closer than he was early on in those matchups, but he has had some success to him earlier in the year and late last year. So, who do you factor into that conversation, with Mr. R, Mewtwo King, And then we have all these other new players coming out of nowhere, finishing in top 5s or top 8s that we don't see. But, I mean, you have to think that there is definitely a top 10 of people where it almost seems like anybody can beat anybody. Because Zero has now lost to, beforehand he only had a few losses. He lost to Mr. Con one time, he lost to 6WX one time. But now he's lost to Mewtwo King, he's lost to Ally, he's lost to Anti, he's lost to Larry Lure. And he's even picking up a Cloud because, it doesn't seem like his Sheik is having a little bit trouble when it comes to, since the nerf. We've seen different Sheik players adapt in different ways. Especially when it comes to killing, he seems to have maybe an even bigger problem than, say, Void and Mr. R are having, where you see Mr. R going more for forward tilts into up airs, and you see Void go more into down tilts into up airs, and you see Mr. R going for the offstage needles, and you see Void going for more shortened bouncing fishes, and Zero is having a problem dealing with the fact that Sheik doesn't have any guaranteed kill setups, has very, very poor ways of killing. Rage, hurts her in a lot of aspects, plus she's one of the lightest characters in the world, so she dies early. So we see Diddy Kong, and we're seeing a lot more Diddy Kong players having a lot of success. Take a look at JJ Rockets, take a look at Zenodo, take a look at MVD, take a look at a lot of Diddy Kong's playing. So we're seeing certain characters, a lot of people picking up Clouds. Nairo has a Cloud. It looks like Anti might have a Cloud. Zero has a Cloud now to deal with not necessarily certain matchups. It's not like Cloud has a fantastic matchup against certain characters, although some people say that Cloud is a really good counter to Rosalina and Luma, but he's not necessarily winning or losing a lot against one specific character. It's just a new look to give your opponent. So especially with characters, now that Zero seems to have picked up a Cloud, although I don't think his Cloud is on the same level as, say, Tweaks or Neds even, or Mewtwo Kings. He just doesn't have as much practice. We see him now with, we know he's been a dual main for a long time, mostly leaning on Diddy Kong. But now is he going to be triple maining here? Abadongo, he still has the Pac-Man, apparently, and he's got the Mewtwo, and he's got the Meta Knight. We have Anti, who has a bunch of mains, including Mario and Sheik, and he has a Cloud, and he has a Rosalina and Luma as well. And then you take a look at Larry Lure, he's got the Fox, he also has the Donkey Kong, and a bunch of other characters. So we're seeing a lot of less one-character specialty players at the highest level of Smash. So it makes things interesting when you take a look at what players should be ranked where, or what characters should be ranked where. It's a summer of Smash, and there's a ton of crazy, unprecedented moments, upsets, feel-good stories, and more drama to be had leading into CEO, and I'm very excited because shit is getting competitive and crazy.